one combine legit interview.
Over the years, as you guys have had some lineup shuffles, your sound has kind of evolved as well. I guess most people call your early days, you were a very hard and fast metalcore band when that movement was kind of getting its footing and its wings and taking off. And your later albums have much more of like a speed metal, thrash metal kind of element to them. A lot of like rumbling double bass and just really fast stuff. How do you guys keep things fresh when you're writing? Is it a conscious decision to kind of get away from your roots a little bit? Because I saw an interview, it was a French interview with Josh this afternoon online, where he said that you've been tagged as a metalcore band and you're trying to kind of distance yourself from that a little bit. So is that something that you continue to strive to do without, totally abandoning, you know what I mean, your early sound, I guess?
Yeah. No, I don't think, I mean, like, that name was always something that got put on us, but we, like, I can understand why people would call us a metalcore band and everything, but I don't think we're, like, doing everything in our power to like, break away from any label that people may, give us directly. But I think over the years, we've really just, in getting back to what I was saying earlier, and us just trying to be better at everything we do, in a sense, we try and hold each other accountable to, like, the material that we write, too. If someone comes up with something that just sounds like it could have been on Shadows Our Security or something a little bit older, we have no reservations about it being like, it's just not that good, and I think there's always a way to, I guess, develop a sound while staying true to, like, I guess, some of the elements that people liked about the band in the first place. And As Lay Dying has always been a very intense, an aggressive band, and I don't think we'll ever change that part of our nature, but in how we present it and, the arrangements of our songs and how we deliver that vibe is something that we're always trying to toy with, always messing around with. And I think it's just, it goes back to us just trying to be better and moving forward. And I'm proud of the fact that, over the past couple albums, you can tell that everyone's been getting better. Like, everybody across the board, like, we all play our part, and everybody is, even on this EP, everybody is, like, still progressing at their respective instruments and what they bring to the band. So I think as long as we keep doing that without, losing track of what the band was when we started, I think we'll be all right.
Definitely. And I think, definitely on the latest album, it's still very much As It Lay Dying. When you hear a song like Anodyne Sea, you know what I mean? You get Josh singing the chorus, you're like, oh, this is an As It Lay Dying song. Mm-hmm. But if you listen to like that and then, something off Shadows, you're like, wow, they like really, stepped it up over time.
Yeah, we were really young when we did that record too,
Yeah.
Phil was like 18 or maybe 19. I was 21, so it's just, I think it's just natural because we weren't that great at our instruments. We definitely were trying to be as good as we can, but just over the years we've been fortunate enough to pick up a lot of different things, or just get a little better. That's a lot more years of practice under our belts.
Definitely. This afternoon before we drove over here, I found an old Revolver magazine from 2005.
Oh man!
When you guys played at Ozfest and all the old promo pics with the band. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It's so funny. We all were so young and had baby faces and stuff.
One thing I wanted to touch on is your lyrical content. I know the band. Is everyone in the band Christian? Is that correct?
Yeah, for the most, everyone has that same basic, foundation.
Okay. Because, I know most people always say As Lay Dying are a Christian band. Mm-hmm. And a lot of your lyrics deal with, matters of faith, but not in a way that I would call overtly religious. Mm-hmm. And I always like that because I'm not someone who believes in God, but I was drawn to your music just because it was ambiguous enough that I could still relate to the themes, and say, I can back this and I understand where they're coming from. So does Tim do most of your lyric writing?
Yeah, Tim writes all of the lyrics.
All right, so I guess this would be more of a question for him, but I'm sure you could probably answer it as well. When he's writing, does he kind of like to keep the lyrics more ambiguous and open-ended in a way that more people could relate to them?
You know what, Tim? I don't think Tim is. If somebody purposely leaves things ambiguous, it could be viewed as artistic on one end, by having it open to interpretation, and then maybe, I guess, not full of any sort of conviction for what you really believe, because you're kind of keeping things hazy. But I think the way I always looked at it is Tim writes lyrics and approaches lyrics the same way anyone else does, you know, or at least in the hardcore or metal scene, in that he just writes about like issues, life, like anything that's really on his mind, but it's always through the lens of his faith, and like the lens of, I guess, his moral values and all of those things. And I think that might be why it's always a little bit open, because it's the stuff that he writes about is stuff that everybody deals with. Everyone,
absolutely.
You know, everyone. Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of reaching by saying everyone, but I think most people deal with all their own personal struggles, you know, and so I think because that's something that everyone can identify with, while maybe for some people the whole religious side of it is something that's not exactly for them, or they just don't get at all, there's still something to relate to there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I enjoy your music so much. It's just being drawn to it on a human level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we're all human beings, man.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys after this tour? Some more touring, and what's the news with this EP? Is that still up in the air?
Yeah, we don't know yet. It's the whole purpose of it was just kind of put something out to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of the band, and I think that might come out in like the summer, you know, middle or late summer. And until then, we're going to be touring. We have this tour going on until March 19th, and then in April we go to Australia with Disturbed and Trivium, and then after that we go to Alaska and South America. So we're going all over the place, but not the States for a little bit.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's it. The band's just staying busy, and we have stuff coming out. So as long as people still come to these shows and pick up our stuff, we will, keep doing it and enjoying ourselves while we do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Nick Hippa of As I Lay Dying. Be sure to check them out. They're on the road right now.